Hello, this is Nancy from Garden Gals, coming from you from Zone 7 in Kentucky. And I had promised in my first video that I would give you a garden tour, and I wanted to do a front yard tour and also tell you how the name of the house came about. This is a magnolia tree, and we call our home Magnolia Manor. It's a folk Victorian that was built in 1880. We have lived on this property since 1993, so some of the things that you're going to see have been here for a while, and some are newer gardens. This is walking from the side of the house sort of up to the front, and as you can see, the magnolia tree definitely drops leaves. But there are hostas. This is a variegated hosta that's planted, and a variegated plant is anything that has white in it. This is a red knockout rose, and right behind it coming up are some echinacea or cone flowers. And I have a lot of flowers on this property for the bees and the butterflies. Walking down, you'll see that I try to work in evergreen trees, and the reason for that is the bones for your winter structure. So you want to make sure that you have something that you can enjoy in your garden all 4 seasons. This is black-eyed Susans, and it looks like something may be eating on those. I'm going to have to check those out. Coming on down, this is 2 azalea bushes, and as you can see, they are just about at the end of their lifespan. The one there on the right probably will have to be taken out soon. There are some daylilies coming up, some more evergreens. This is a gazebo that I had placed about 3 years ago. So the flowers around this are about that old, and it's irises and hostas and more daylilies, and then some annuals planted in the baskets. Coming around to the front of the house, you see that I have repeated the pattern of hostas and daylilies, hydrangeas and sedum, and then the front of the house, there where the front porch is. And I have yet to plant up this bird bath, and the reason there's dirt in the bird bath is that it has a crack in it, so obviously it won't hold water, but it makes a perfect place to pop in some little plants, so I'll be shopping for those soon. And of course, more hostas. Going down, that's the front. I have boxwoods there with sedum, geraniums, irises. This is coming around front. The little Siberian irises are just blooming their head off. More hostas. The oak leaf hydrangea that is just loaded with blooms. Coming around the side, you'll see more knockout roses. The stones that you see there are the original stones for the underpinning of the house. We have these 2 in front, and then in the back we have 2 more. We have an astilbe that's getting ready to bloom, and tiger lilies, nandunas. This is a Savannah holly that I had to do a pretty hard pruning on because it had just gotten up into the power lines, and that's just not a good idea. So I sort of shaped it up, and it's now filling back out. But it has pretty red berries, and then the Nandina has pretty red berries for the winter, for winter interest. This is more daylily, some forsythia that's already bloomed, and there's bee balm or monarda or bergamot in the back there. This is a butterfly bush. It's white. And the reason I have it there is because it gets really tall and it comes up over this fence. And right over that fence is probably my favorite garden, and that is my secret garden. And I will give you a tour of that garden. It's for the bees and the butterflies. And I'm always planting new things. So back against this fence, I have just planted Oakley hydrangea. That is some autumn clematis and Rosa Sharon. And Rosa Sharon is in the hibiscus family, so it has really pretty flowers on it. Another Rosa Sharon, another Oakley hydrangea, and then the arboretavites. And the story behind the arboretavites, I planted them about 3 years ago. And then I realized I had planted those too close together. So I dug every last one of those up and replanted them. And that was a hard day's worth of work. I've repeated the pattern of the Rose of Sharon. This is a lilac, Rose of Sharon, a lilac that is struggling, and a Rose of Sharon. This is the newest garden that I put in, and as you can tell, it's what we call transplant shock. And I'll back up and give you, it's just a little setting area under an iron gazebo, and it is daylily, irises, hostas, and then I just repeated the pattern. There are some annuals that I have planted seeds that hopefully will come up around that, so it'll look a little bit better. Slowly turn back around so you won't get dizzy. This is an ornamental cherry tree, and it too, is probably at about the end of its lifespan. As you can see right over here, we have lots of dead branches. And that tree has been there about 25 years. So every year I'm just thinking, oh, this may be the last year. But this is the front garden beds, and we'll go back around and I'll walk up on the front porch. Wanted to tell you a little bit about why I decided to start a YouTube channel. I learned the love of gardening from my grandmother in East Tennessee, and it's something that I'm passionate about and I really want to pass on to my children. So this is the front porch. We spend quite a bit of time up here. We try to make it just as comfortable as possible. We have a clock and we always know what the temperature is, and I even popped a little lamp in this. It was actually an old entertainment center that I repurposed, and then there's just a small water fountain that trickles. And in here I have actually started some flowers. I'm propagating some holiday cactuses. It looks like 2 are doing pretty good and 2 maybe struggling just a little bit. But back to the story. So I learned the love of gardening from my grandmother. I have 2 daughters, and they have been bitten by the gardening bug, and I am just absolutely thrilled to death. So I want to do a series of videos basically for beginner gardeners. I realize that there's a lot of questions, and I would like to share my knowledge. I'm by no means an expert. I'm simply passionate, and I love to grow things. My motto is bloom where you're planted. So I'm happy that you're here on my channel. I'm happy that you're watching, and I really hope that you will consider subscribing and check back for more videos for beginner being our gardeners. Thank you.